Hey everybody, so this is Dr. Abha Chugh. I will list down a few points that you can follow up as well if you're taking a drop year or if you're preparing otherwise during internship. These are the few things that you have to follow. Number one, I would definitely recommend keep a few hours of the day out for MCQs. Your paper is going to be multiple choice question oriented. You have to practice your MCQs. There's no other way to go about it. No matter how much theory you learn, you have to practice MCQs. So don't wait for the last 2 months to come so that you can sit down and practice MCQs. You have to do it from day one. So when I started preparing, I actually joined a coaching institute, DAMS, and I started taking regular classes. It was the weekend classes, so I had the rest of the week free to prepare for it. So I used to come back home, revise my notes, and do all the multiple choice questions from that topic, from that subject. So I think that was a really efficient way to cover up all the subjects. So I joined a little late, but I started covering it up every day once I was home. So number one is MCQs. Do it every day. Keep 2 hours of the day aside. I used to keep the 2 hours before I used to go off to sleep out of the day aside, because at that time you don't feel like studying. You're really tired of studying all day. So you can just sit and do your MCQs. They're basically a fun thing to do rather than, cramming up all your notes. So afterwards, number two, I would say if you're feeling like you have a lot of backlog left, like a lot of students when they're in classes, they keep studying, they feel that a lot of subjects that they did before, they're forgetting it. And that's completely human. I mean, you can't remember everything all at once. You're gonna need multiple revisions to crack the exam. Multiple revisions is the key. You must have said every single teacher preparing you for NEETPG that it is the key. So basically, do not stop revising what you had done in the past, but keep a time aside for it. Don't juggle a lot of subjects at the same time. So I used to keep the 2 hours of the day, of the beginning of the day, before my breakfast, to prepare for the subjects and revise the subjects that I had done earlier, or the subjects that I was lagging behind in. If there were some topics that I didn't do over the week while I was preparing for the weekend or for the last subject, I would just take the 2 hours out of the day and then do those backlog and the back lagging topics that I was lagging behind in basically. So that is the key to completing your backlog, and you have to do it like that only, because if you think you're going to finish the whole syllabus once and then start revising, that's never going to happen, because you're never going to feel like you're done with the whole syllabus. So you have to make out time in between. Afterwards, number three, I would say GTs. GTs are the key. Obviously, everyone says, what is the best day to give a GT? It's today, it's right now. So that's how it works. GTs are basically grand tests, right? They are the mock tests that you give to prepare for the final test day. Without the practice of GT, you don't know how to sit in the exam and attempt the paper for 3 whole hours, 3.5 hours nowadays. So you have to practice GTs. There is no other way out for it. There is no shortcut to it. In the beginning, you can start giving GTs twice a month, because I get it. It's still a little early to give GTs once you've started preparing. If you've just started preparing in the drop year or internship when you have no idea about the subjects, but it doesn't matter. Even if you've studied one subject, you should still give it. It's not really about the marks in the beginning. It's about the practice of solving MCQs, practice of knowing what you know and what you don't know, which topics are your weaknesses, which topics are your strengths. So just sit down, start giving GTs, mark a day on your calendar that this is the day you have to give a GT, and twice a month in the beginning start giving GTs. Afterwards, once you get closer to the exam, once you're done with your first revision, during your second revision, you're going to realize that your marks are increasing slowly. So this is what's going to happen once you've revised it more than once. So during your second revision, you're going to feel a little bit better about your prep. And that's okay, even if they don't start increasing in the beginning. You can wait it out. It will increase. Definitely there's going to be a good amount of trend. It's gonna go up for sure, but wait it out. Don't get disheartened if they don't increase suddenly. It's not a linear slope seedha upar. It has to be a little slow. It is gonna rise for sure. So once you start giving them, once you get closer, second revision, you start giving them maybe thrice a month, maybe 4 times a month. It's completely on you, but definitely in the last 3-4 months when you're doing your second and third revisions, try giving it 4 times a month. And in the last 20 days, usually I don't recommend giving GTs because I didn't give it. I have a lot of nerves in the last few days before exams, so I used to not touch any GTs. But it's definitely up to you. If you're confident with your prep, you can definitely give a couple GTs. But then I would recommend not looking at your score, because some people get very disheartened and it causes a lack of confidence when you're sitting in the exam. So try not giving it in the last few days. Even if you do give, do not look at the score. Number 4 is what I want to tell you guys about is discipline. Okay, so to prepare for any exam, to crack any exam, you need one important element out of all the elements. One element is सबसे ज़्यादा important, and that is your discipline. So the whole prep for NEETPG, it's gonna be exhausting. It's gonna be a long haul. It's not gonna be one day thing, right? So even if you're preparing an internship, or you're taking a drop year, or it is your second drop year, whatever it is, you have to stay disciplined. See, there are going to be days when you have a family function, or you get sick, or there is an urgent matter to attend to, and that's okay. That is understandable. But other than that, you have to stay disciplined. You have to decide that these are the amount of hours that I'm going to put in every single day, no matter what. If something happens, you get sick, that's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself the time to heal. Give yourself the time to get better. It's not a big deal. Everybody gets sick. Everybody is a human. It's not just you, right? So other than that, there are gonna be days when you're gonna feel good, or you're gonna feel really low or bad, and you're not gonna have the similar amount of output that you had the other day or the day before that. And then you're gonna be like, oh no, I'm not preparing up to my level, and you're gonna get disheartened, and you're gonna stop studying. So that's not how it works, guys. You have to consistently keep preparing yourself. See, motivation comes and goes, but discipline is the one thing you have to stick to. No matter if you're feeling sad or if you're feeling happy, it has to be there. So tell yourself, push yourself, that you're gonna have low days, but that shouldn't stop you from your preparation. I got sick just before the NEETPG exam, but that didn't stop me from revising. I knew the last 4-5 days are very important to my prep. Take a few minutes, take a few hours out of your day to rest, to breathe, do other activities as well. I used to meditate every morning before studying. Do things that make you feel happy, do things that make you feel excited, do things that increase your stamina and endurance. Definitely don't stop doing any of those things while you're prepping. But you have to tell yourself that you have to have the discipline. Without that, it's not going to be possible to crack it. I made sure that every single day I study at least 10 to 12 hours. That had to be the minimum amount of studying I had to do. I had bad days. I had days when I didn't feel like studying at all. But then I used to push myself. I used to do a subject that I really loved. Or maybe I would just put myself in front of a video and just watch a revision video or a lecture from some professor. So that is how you keep going. You find ways to push yourself, basically. Number 5, you have to have 2 to 3 revisions minimum. If you have 4, amazing. If you have 5, इससे better कुछ नहीं हो सकता है, basically. But no matter how many revisions you have to try to have at least 3 minimum revisions before the exam. Because guys, there are a lot of subjects. 19 subjects are not like come. They are a lot. You have to study a lot. You have to retain a lot of theoretical information. So in order to retain that, you have to keep revising again and again and again. So the other thing that you can do to revise those things multiple times is how to make it easier. So what you can do is, whenever you're making notes, okay, for example, this is your first revision. You made notes for every subject. Next revision, try to shorten it down. Try to mark or highlight the topics that you know are asked multiple times, repeatedly, again and again, which are PYQs, your previous year questions, right? Which are the main khazana of your whole prep. So that is gonna be your wildcard tool, okay? The PYQs, that is the most important thing to do, to practice. So how are you going to figure out which are the most important PYQ topics? You will figure it out when you attempt MCQs. So that is why I said in the beginning, and I'm gonna repeat it again, MCQs is the key. You have to do it from day one, every day, all the time. You have to keep out 2 hours. Like I said, not all the time, keep out 2 hours of the day aside. Try to do PYQs. You have all these apps, Marrow and all. You have the option to go, and if it's up to you guys. I never solved a custom module in my life. I used to do PYQs and question banks only, but that's completely your choice. If you want to go make a custom module, just the PYQs, that's okay too. So whatever helps you to understand which are the important topics that are asked again and again. So you mark those topics in your notes when you're doing the second revision. You bookmark the page, you fold it, you highlight it, whatever helps you to make it shorten. I used to write down like PSM ka formulas or any other biostatistic facts or all these things on papers. You can see behind me the board. So basically you put it down on a piece of paper so that you can revise it in a faster way. I also made the so-called 20th notebook that everybody keeps referring to. So I took a small notepad. I used to write down everything that is asked again and again, and I knew that I'm gonna forget right before the exam, because these things are volatile. There are some things that you have to cram. There is no other way to remember them. So I used to put it down on my 20th notebook. I would go on, keep putting down. I made this small notepad, and finally, right before my exam, one day before my exam, I revised that notepad, and it really helped. Even before the last day, when you're doing your third revision, you can go through the whole notepad every morning, every day. You can keep some time apart for it, and it's gonna be really, really helpful, guys. Trust me, because when you keep seeing these cramming things again and again, sort of तुम्हारे दिमाग में memory रह जाता है उसका, तो वो करना would be a really good thing. Other than this, so you shorten your notes, you shorten them as much as you can second revision mein, so the third revision is easy. Don't think you'll revise the whole book, the whole copy of notes, every subject ka in the last 10 days. That is humanly impossible. So you have to shorten them down. Another tool that really, really helped me with the whole process of this was the first aid book. There are a lot of positive and negative reviews about it, but that book was a lifesaver for me. I used it to narrow down, make tables, learn from concepts, and you all must know about Dr. Zainab ma'am. She was a lifesaver too. I just watched a few of her MERs and MKTs, the ones that she had given a list of before, a month before. So I didn't know about her before that. I got to know about her in the last couple months before the exam. So I tried watching those videos because they were the similar thing only. I didn't watch them in the last month. I watched 1 month before. I tried to cover them, giving them 1 hour every day. MERs I used to watch, MKTs, that were only important topics. वो वाले topics जो मुझे समझ नहीं आते थे, not every single thing. क्योंकि 60-70 videos ख़त्म करना आखिरी 1 महीने में possible नहीं था. So I tried doing those videos. They helped me a ton because they were really, gist में बनाए गए थे, summarized थे, tables थे. So that helped a lot. I also tried watching BTS as much as I could towards the end. But I made sure that I didn't revise anything new in the last 1 month. I also attended the DVT online in the month of December, and that was a lifesaver too. I bought the DVD booklet, I filled it up, and I revised that DVD booklet in the last 10 days. So that was a lifesaver in the last 10 days because I didn't know how to revise the whole syllabus in the last 10 days. So what I did was, when I filled up that DVD, in my second and third revision, I tried adding stuff to that booklet so that, I would add up all the points that I needed as well into that booklet. And that was super helpful too. Towards the end, I didn't have to open all these other notebooks to revise. I could just take my DVD and revise it along with me. And that showed to 20th notebook. So last 10 days preparation, you have to keep aside something for you that you can revise. It could be your DVD booklet, your other coaching centers ka rapid revision notes, or anything that you think you can revise within 10 to 15 days, which you keep for your last revision. So you revise that small notebook, Choto 20 notebook, and that DVD, or any BTRs, or whatever you are studying from. It doesn't have to be this only. It's completely on you. You can make your own Choto DVD booklet if you don't want to follow that up. So you revise that in the last few days, and trust me, you're gonna have a peaceful exam. You're not gonna be worrying like crazy. Okay, that's something you can't avoid. You are gonna be worried before the exam, but this is gonna help you a lot. This is gonna help calm your nerves a lot, because that's what happened with me. I worry a lot before an exam. I get a lot of anxiety. and this time I even had tinnitus before my exam and vertigo as well. So during those days, I would just open my DVD booklet, just go through the pages, just look through them and know that, okay, I know this, I know this, I know this. So this is what happens after you have done 3 revisions. If you haven't, you wouldn't feel the same way that, okay, I know this. So that is very important. 3 revisions are very important. First revision you can give 6 to 7 months. Second revision you can do in like 2 months, 2.5 months. And the last revision you can give 1 month too. And the final revision is going to be your 10 to 15 day revision just before the exam, where you'll just remember or revise your high yield topics, your post-it notes, or your chotu notebook, 20th notebook. So those are the things you have to do before the exam. And guys, trust me, one day before the exam, try studying the bare minimum. I'm someone who used to take the notes ka notebook to the exam, okay? So trust me when I say this, do not study on the last day of the exam. While I was going to my center, it wasn't in my hometown, it was in Chandigarh. I took a notebook with me, even on the way I was trying to study, but I was with my parents, and they always tell me not to open the book one night before. They're like, just rest, relax, and that is what I did. I closed the notebook down. I just put all my faith into myself, and I told myself, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. I have to believe myself. I have to believe in my prep that I have been studying for this long, and it's gonna be okay. There is nothing that I will read right now will definitely come exam mein. That's not something that's gonna happen. So just forget about it, calm down, and relax and spend some time with your parents. They're always positive forces of light. I'm super thankful to my parents because they gave me this environment to study in. This is my room, and I have loved studying here for the last 1 year, and I don't think I would have gotten this environment anywhere. This is why I used to do up and down on the weekends to Chandigarh to attend the regular classes. I could have stayed in Chandigarh, but I didn't want to. I wanted to prepare अच्छे से in the best environment that I could. I could get home cooked meals and the love and care of my parents, and I'm super thankful to them. And basically that's my only message to you guys. Prepare अच्छे से, be disciplined, believe in your preparation, do not keep second questioning yourself. I know this is gonna happen. Everyone is gonna question themselves, am I doing the right thing? Should I prepare like that? Should I prepare like this? Another message that I would like to give you, please do not get deviated when you see someone else preparing from something else. We think, oh, FOMO. I forgot to talk about FOMO. FOMO is the biggest problem we kids have, our generation has. So whenever we're preparing for something, we'll feel, oh, this person's preparing for XYZ thing. I should prepare from that. How am I missing out on that? So do not feel like that. Your resources are going to be enough. Your resources are fine. It doesn't matter you prepare from this place, that place, the other place. It's going to be the same thing. The concepts are not going to change. Your brain has retained all the facts. So trust yourself. Do not try to go here, there, otherwhere. So basically when you try reading from all these multiple sources, you're going to confuse your brain. Do not do that to yourself. Try preparing for one place, your main source. I only took help of Dr. Zainab ma'am's MERs and MKTs because they really sort of reinforced my concepts and helped me study those concepts that I couldn't get cleared about. जो concepts मेरे clear नहीं थे, मैंने सिर्फ उनका videos देखा था. I didn't watch all the things, everything. If you're someone who's preparing from them, from the day one, then that is something else. You can revise them only in the last few days. And even जो मैंने थोड़े से videos उनके देखे थे, मैंने सिर्फ वही last few days में revise भी किए थे. You can't just watch them एक बारी and go to the exam. You have to revise them at least 2-3 बारी. Your notes, the other notes that I prepared, 20th notebook and post-its and DVD. These were, so basically if I have to list down all the tools that I revised from in the last 10-20 days, it was the DVD booklet, which I had revised already twice. It was my post-it notes that I used to put on my window so that I could remember those facts. I read them before leaving for my exam, one day before. My 20th notebook that I had been preparing last 3 months se, and few MERs and MKTs के concepts, BTRs के, that I had pointed down कि मुझे ये भूलते हैं, वही रिवाइज किए थे. So ये 3-4 चीज़ें I had revised last 10 days में. Other than this, I had trust on myself, I had trust on my preparation. So I think that really helped during the exam. On the day of the exam, I just woke up on time. I listened to some songs that I really like. So I mostly listen to music while studying as well, and that music doesn't have a lot of lyrics. So it actually calms me down, it helps me a lot. So I listened to it while I was going to the institute. I meditated for 10-20 minutes on my way to the exam center, and I had a light breakfast. Do not skip on your breakfast ever. It's not a good idea. You're gonna feel very weak during the exam, you might faint and all. You have to eat before the exam. And during the exam, I was calm. Even though there was some issue with my signature, I told myself I cannot panic. That is not the way I want to give this exam. I still remember Zainab ma'am telling everyone one day before the exam that try to give the exam with a smile, and that's what I did, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So try to be calm in the exam. I think तुम्हारे एग्ज़ाम में 40-50% रोल प्ले करता है कि तुम्हारा एटीट्यूड कैसा है टुवर्ड्स द एग्ज़ाम. सो इफ़ यू गो टुवर्ड्स द एग्ज़ाम काम होकर, if you give the exam आराम से with a sane mind, it's gonna be good. You're gonna remember all the facts. You're gonna be able to recall all the facts. If you give it panic करके, if you're really confused, or you're thinking ये हो गया वो हो गया, you're gonna mess it up. You're gonna mark the questions wrong that you know the answer to. So do not do that mistake. I've seen a lot of people make that mistake because they panic. You have to prepare for the day of exam. And how do you do that? You give a lot of GTs. You try to give them in the space like, you're giving the actual exam. I even gave a couple of CBTs conducted by DAMS. They conduct computer-based exams, which felt like the real exam. I went to the center, I gave the exam twice before the actual exam, and the rank that I got in there was almost accurate to the rank I got in my final exam. So try giving these tests that make you prepared for the final day. Try to stay calm, because that is definitely gonna increase your score. I wasn't expecting this much score, but I'm really happy to get a score of 583, and this is something I've always wanted, and I'm really excited for the counseling as well. So yeah, I guess those are all the quick tips that I could give, and I wish you all the best. I wish you all the success in the world. Prepare well, do well, and just believe in yourself. That's all you can do. Believe in your prep, believe in yourself, and work hard, study hard consistently every single day. Thank you.